So I was thinking actually during the break that the Germans, they brought Christmas over. They brought the Christmas trees, okay? So they brought the tradition. They had a more continental Sunday. They were the alcohol drinkers. So they're a little bit more liberal when it comes to the Puritans of the Plymouth Bay colony, Massachusetts Bay, the you know, the sort of the imperializing English Protestants. They were very strict, extraordinarily strict, and stuck up, and thought that their shit didn't stink, and massacred people, and scorched earth campaigns, you know, just horrible terrorism, total warfare. So I have Don Heinrich Tolzmann's book, The German-American Experience. This man's actually from Cincinnati, UC, and he knows some things. He got one thing wrong. Frankfurt is actually named after a man named Frank. I think it was like James Frank or something, but it was a Jewish man named Frank. He dies, and they said it was Frank's Ford. So that's where Frank actually lived. Okay, so page 131. In 1855, this in 1855, this is how German-American settlements of Missouri were described. The German settlements in the West are remarkable for their completely German appearance and their purely German atmosphere, while the German farmer in Pennsylvania is more accustomed to Anglo-American ways and has even sacrificed his native tongue, or half of it at least. The German settlements in the West have preserved their native coloring unmixed. You think you are in a village in Germany when you set foot in one of these settlements. The architecture of houses, owing of course to differences in climate, is a little different, but the household furniture and family custom style, method, plowing, sowing, harvesting, all remind one of Germany. That is not why I marked this page. German settlers gradually spread all over Ohio. Nearly every county contained a German township and citizens with such names as Berlin, Weinsberg, Saxon, and Hanover. Scriptural names such as Bethlehem, Salem, Nazareth, Goshen, Canaan, given to the settlements of the German Moravians, Dunkers, or Mennonites. They went to St. Louis, St. Charles, Washington, Herman, Bonneville, Warrenton, Munch. Why did I mark this page? The Wyandotte, Simon Gertie, German farmers, fertile soil, Kentucky. I apologize for that. Okay, so the Germans. You got the German Americans, 1855, Know Nothing Riots. Louisville, it's the nativists, Know Nothing, fucking dickhole, wasp, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants fucking using violence. The Mississippi Plan, right? They're basically using the Mississippi Plan in order to achieve their ends. The Mississippi Plan is where you use violence in order to to win at the polls. And unfortunately, it worked. It worked. It's the reason why Reconstruction failed, and the black folks lost South Carolina. So, Germans come from Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Maryland, Virginia. No Germans from abroad. 1821. So I don't know why I marked these pages, you know, for all the things. All the ones that I wanted to say something about. So in the 1840s, 5 sovereign princes and 16 noblemen formed an organization and very ambitious plan to establish German settlements in Texas. They said there's 300 newspapers in America in 1900. So yeah, so you know, Germans had tons of newspapers, right? There's different, there's Germans and Irish that's coming throughout the 1900s, but there's different waves, and there was actually like 500,000 in the 50s, and then there was like 1.5 million, which was the peak in the 1880s. And that's how I think in decades, right? 1850s, 1860s, and I think in the Civil War, a lot of times big events like that, 61 to 65, it sort of splits the century in half. Not really, but kind of. Here's an immigrant letter. This immigrant letter, I think, gives an idea of the conditions in America compared to how he had thought from the German homeland. So it also gives me a perspective of my German ancestors. The Grip Chivers got here in August 21st, 1869. Okay, so 1869, Castle Gardens, New York, come to fucking Kentucky, Sanfordtown, and Ellesmere, Erlanger, Northern Kentucky, and Kenton County. So within a year, they had to come pretty quick. So, and that's where they've stayed there. They haven't got off the river. The Grip Chivers haven't got off the Ohio River. Okay, so this letter is written by Joseph Ripberger. It's page 144 in 1841 from. Page 144, year 1841, from Columbia, located in the eastern section of Cincinnati. Of the kinds of letters being sent home by immigrants, the letter was directed to Rep. Berger's brothers, sisters, and brother-in-law. I will be happy if this letter reaches you in good health. Thank God we are still healthy. We live 5 miles away from Cincinnati in Columbian. We are now leasing a farm. The rent amount to half of the wine we produce. The other half belongs to us. This year we had 150 bushels of corn, 10 bushels of oats, 50 bushels of wheat, 200 bushels of potatoes, 2,800 cabbage, $4 for 100. $1 is worth in your money 2.5 gulden, G-U-L-D-E-N. So I guess that was the currency that they used back in the day. The guldens, G-U-L-D-E-N's. 1 bushel is a simmer and a half. Simmer is an old German corn measure. It equals 20 liters. We got 6 cows, 2 horses, 13 pigs, and numerous chickens. Our lease is $50 and 2 days of labor for 1 year. Our lease is $50, 2 days of labor for 1 year. So they got a lease, I guess, for the house, but they also have to give like half their shit up. So they have to pay rent and they got a fucking lease. You want to know how the state supports itself here? It does so from congressional land, and every 6 miles we have to pay 11 cents toll. You also want to know how it is in America. If your son would come to America, he would learn a trade which would be of interest to him, and he could also earn some money from this. Dear brother, I also want to know how things are with our sister, whether or not she wants to come to America. If she cannot come, she should see to it that her sons come here, as all craftsmen are very much in demand if they know their trade, especially butchers. And if they are a bit thrifty, they can manage to have their parents come over in 2 years. If Nansen from Rothhaupt should come to America, she would be better off than in Germany. It is all up to you. I advise all young people to come to America. Their fortunes are 10 times better off than in Germany. However, people at the age between 45 and 50 years who have no children they can rely on should stay at home in Germany. I thank God 100 times that I could come to America, for I make more money than in Germany, and the thought of returning to Germany never comes to mind. My children also do not want to return. So they come to America and they like it. America. They're farmers. They're getting right back into it. They have plenty. 13 pigs, right? 2 horses, bunch of chickens, 6 cows, 150 bushels of corn, 10 bushels of oats, 50 bushels of wheat, 200 bushels of potatoes. So diversification, right? Not just a single staple crop. Potatoes, wheat, oats, corn, cabbage. And then Gulden. Gulden is their unit. Their butchers are in high amounts, and they don't want to go back to Germany. Our oldest daughter is married to a farmer who owns his own land, which is located 4 miles from Cincinnati. His name is Joseph Metz from Landau. I have not as yet provided him with means, but only the dowry, and she is more better off than had she married the richest man in Schneeberg or Whalebach. For in America, you don't have to search for wealth. Dear brother, I often think what you told me, that I would use up my money and I would eat only 2 kinds of meat every Sunday. But now in America, I do not only have 2 kinds of meat, but also cheese and butter and coffee and meat as much as I want. My daily meals are far better than your meals are on the whole, and I also live well, since I do not see a forester, nor a district policeman, nor a district court, nor a creditor. The town of Cincinnati has 48,074 inhabitants. 12,000 are Roman Catholics. Johann Baptist Berkel and many other English priests and German Catholic priests. Johann Martin Henny from Switzerland. Franz Ludwig Hubert, a Jesuit from Bavaria, and Clemens Hammer from Bohemia. There are 2 Catholic churches. one English, one German. The name of the German church is Trinity Church. It is big and majestic. In this year, 2 more churches will be built. One English, one German. The foundation stone of the second German church was laid on the day of the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary in the afternoon at 5 p.m. The bishop and all priests and 3 German priests were present. There were 3 sermons, one of which was in English, one by the bishop and another one by the German priest Henny. As the foundation stone was laid on the day of the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary, the church therefore received the name of St. Mary's. Also on this day, 76 people participated in Holy Communion for the first time in this German church. In America, there's a president, 200 congressmen, a court of appellation, and every 8 to 9 miles there's a justice of the peace. This is what you call a land richter. America has 57 million people. In America, everything is reasonably priced. At present, a farmhand earns $8 to $12 a month. A farm girl earns $6 to $7 a month. A man working on the channel, $11 to $12, and the meals are far better than in Germany. All Saints Day in 1840, George Reichert from Schneeberg came to me and was ill and stayed until the 6th of April. His illness was tuberculosis, just as with his sister in Germany. On April 7th, I brought him to the hospital. On April 20th, I visited him. He requested that when I write to Germany, I should greet his father, brothers, and sisters. He was in bad condition. He sends money to Germany in 1839 and 1840. He was very ill, and each time he came to me without a cent. The pharmacy and the doctor got everything. Dear brother-in-law, please tell this to Martin Reichert in Schneeberg. So this is how they're passing message, right? So this is a man I know from Schneeberg. Get this message to this man in Schneeberg. So if you knew the town, if you knew the name and the town, then eventually that message would get back to where they needed to go. The name and the town. That's all you needed to know. Dear brother-in-law, I always wanted to let you know where Franz Matthias Mueller is. He is in the state of Indiana, 42 miles from Cincinnati. There he has bought 120-acre shrub land. He did not stay longer than 8 days in Cincinnati to visit me. He immediately bought land with the money he brought from Germany. I personally have no land of my own, but would not want to trade places with him. Dear brother-in-law, when I write you again, I will let you know how he is doing. In the fall, if I remain healthy, I will go to the state of Illinois, which is 1,000 miles from Cincinnati, and there I will buy 140 acres of land for my children. This costs $1.25 per acre. If we should die and not be able to move to there, then at least our children should have some land of their own. If they do not move there, they can sell it in 8 to 10 years. Then it'll be worth $20 to $30 per acre. My income in 1840 was for pigs $54, for cabbage $90, for potatoes $50, for onions $12, for corn $25, for oats $20, or for half of the wine $15. I slaughter every year 1 cow, 4 to 5 pigs weighing approximately 170 pounds. I went to America in order to search for my good fortune and have thus far found it. And now I want to close my letter and greet you all heartily. My regards to Brother Johann Dumbacher and to all our relatives, Peter Eckert, wife, children, to the innkeepers in Wheelbach, and to my Josepha and Genevieve. Greet all their comrades who ask about them. It was sent in 1841, arrived in Germany, 2 months later. Just takes a couple months. It took a couple months to get there and back. So he's doing really well in Germany, right? In America, loves this country, doing really well. Related to the water and railway boom of the early 19th century was the building boom in 1855. Johann August Roebling completed his railroad bridge at Niagara Falls, the first bridge to be suspended from wire cables. Johann August Roebling proudly proclaimed that no one would be afraid to cross great divides by means of suspension bridge. In 1869, he completed the Great Suspension Bridge on the Ohio River, connecting Kentucky and Ohio. This served as the model and prototype for Roebling's masterpiece, the Brooklyn Bridge. 1869. So the fucking suspension bridge in Cincinnati was constructed the same year we landed on Plymouth Rock. Or when Plymouth Rock landed on us with the nativist riots. We didn't land this country landed on us. It's not exactly like that, but you know what we're supposed to do? Stay in fucking Otto von Bismarck Prussian land? Give me a break.